now we're on to Series 6, Part 2. If you haven't already, go and check out Series 4. Go and check out Series 5 and the first part of Series 6. Also check out my David Tennant era episode and talk about the David Tennant specials as well. So go and check them videos out if you haven't already. And we're going to continue on with Series 7 onwards to Series 10. We've done Series 11 quite a lot recently, so I'm going to leave it for a while till we talk about Series 11 again. But yeah, let's get into Series 6 Part 2. We'll split the videos into two parts if this is your first video with me. So we've got the God Complex till the Wedding of River Song. So let's get into that. The Wedding of River Song. Oh God. Yeah. So now we have the God Complex, and it's basically just this Minotaur figure that feeds on emotions, but it's more to do with beliefs. And obviously the Doctor's been foolish enough to say, keep hold of your beliefs and stay strong. And obviously their beliefs is what making them weaker, and that's what it's getting it off, which the Doctor makes a mistake, which is nice to see the Doctor make mistakes. And that is a different thing. Also a different thing is we have these this alien race. Normally we have a batch of humans and it's all different, and David Walliams, who plays the alien, is quite fun. He's very scared of everything type of monster. He's not a monster, he's just a weird scared alien who's just would do anything to survive, and that's his race. That's what he's like. We also see another one of his race in Series 9 in Under the Lake. I think it is. It's episode 3 and 4 of Series 9. We see another one of his race. Yeah. Anyway, so the Minotaur is basically after beliefs, and it's testing the boundaries between Amy and the Doctor and her beliefs and trying to break that down. And the Doctor, at the end of the episode, decides to get rid of Amy and Rory because he almost lost them, and he knows that he's led her by the hand. You know, he offered her all the time and space. He knew she would take it, and he just does that because he wants to be adored, and he has to face facts to that himself, as well as trying to make it more harsh for Amy to want to not trust the Doctor anymore, because that's what's putting her in danger at the time being. We also see a weeping angel, which was quite nice. We see these creepy dolls that I'm not a fan of dolls, so that was a bit but you have dolls with this guy who's a betting person, and there's a belief of roll the dice and these cuffs that are betting material stuff. We also have someone, I'd forgotten most of the beliefs that I had, to be fair. It's just a runaround, which is fun. It's a fun concluded runaround. Like, you have confined spaces, but also it goes everywhere. You can't escape from this hotel. The hotel shifts around and stuff like that, so it is very much like that. And the Minotaur's been spying on them with cameras and stuff like that. And we see this one girl that's trying to prove herself to the Doctor. She's dressed in blue, and yeah, she's like just the Doctor's very intrigued with her, and I don't know her name. She's kind of forgettable, but after this episode, she wouldn't really. Oh, she was a good character, sort of thing. But in the episode, she was alright, and she was trying to prove herself without meaning to. And the Doctor was getting along with her, and then her faith starts kicking into play, and the Minotaur is running after her, and she loses herself, and it's quite that sort of dramatic thing. And then the Doctor obviously beats it, and we end in this weird darkness with the Minotaur dying because no one's believing in their beliefs and stuff like that, so he's feeding off that. And they come here, the Doctor, Amy and Rory come here because of Amy's beliefs, and she has to lose that belief with the Doctor. Yeah, it's quite an interesting story. The Doctor leaves Amy and Rory for this, leading this in. Like, he just leaves them off, really. Yeah, interesting story, and I really enjoyed it. I just think that it deserves probably an 8.5 out of 10. Yeah, 8.5. Now we're into Good Man Goes to War. I do apologise. For some reason, I've done the God complex before any of the other episodes. I thought it was before for some reason, which is odd because it's near the end of the series. But yeah, I do apologise. But let's get into The Good Man Goes to War. So, got my notes to keep me on track. This is a finale-based kind of story because the series got split in half. So yeah, Amy's basically in this hospital.eyes situation. This woman has took her and her kid, and yet again took her kid away and cloned it with these flesh kind baby that will later explode and reveal that she has the baby all along and River is the baby. The plot twist at the end was very nice and interesting to see. Very soap-esque ending. You're not my mother. Get that reference from a TV show. Yeah, so River is... Now, I got confused with this, to be fair. I was like, it's River and Amy's... the Doctor and Amy are together. Like, not together, but like, it's their kid. And then someone was like, no, River is Rory and Amy's kid. And I was thinking, but she's Time Lord. She has to be the Doctor's kid. But it doesn't, because they conceived in the TARDIS, making her Time Lord somehow. I don't know how that works. But yeah, I got confused as a kid. Obviously, it's Amy and Rory's child, River is. But in a way, I thought it was the Doctor because... which would be weird because they kissed and stuff. And River knows everything, so it'd be odd that she went to kiss him. But anyway, yeah, let's get into other stuff. So the Doctor raises an army to get Amy back. He raises Sontaran, Strax, he raises Madame Vastra and Jenny from the Victorian era, and he also raises Dorian, who's a fun character, and he later appears, of course, in the episode. And then we also see, what else do we got with Slorans, Shadeen. They've appeared in the episode, like little cameos of the army, taking over Good Man Goes to War, then humans were getting surrendered and all that. And we have the General to one with the 11th Doctor in a scene, and the 11th Doctor just burst out with anger, which is interesting to see. And he's interested, he's like, oh, that's new, which is different, putting the Doctor into different situations, because obviously we've seen the Doctor angry before. We haven't really seen the 11th Doctor that angry, you know. Someone's robbed his friend away from him, and Amy means a lot to him, so he needs to get her back. So obviously, we also get this future companion-esque sort of person, who is joining the army to fight against the Doctor, so she can see the Doctor again, so she can warn the Doctor's friends and stuff like that. Obviously, they don't believe her because she's in an army against the Doctor, so it doesn't kind of make sense with her justice towards trying to find the Doctor. But yeah, she later dies in the episode. The Doctor hasn't met her yet, so he has to pretend that he remembers her and stuff like that, so it's quite interesting and sad, and a little hint of River's timeline, you know. She knows of the Doctor, but the Doctor doesn't know her yet in a future adventure, but leading into his past adventure. Yeah, then we have it's just linking in with the rest of the series. We have the pirates take over the ship from the Black Spot episode 2 of series 6. You know, that episode of the pirates. They take over the ship. The woman is easily defeated that stole River's Amy baby, and yeah, it's all easy, which is obviously a trap, and the baby has already been took, leading into they need to find the baby. The Doctor, River appears after calling at the start of the episode and then finally coming back, and she reveals who she is. She reveals that she's Amy's daughter, and obviously yeah, the Doctor runs off to wherever and everywhere, and Amy is angry and furious that something's going on and she's had enough, so she raises a gun to River and says, who are you, and stuff like that, tell me. And then obviously I'm your daughter speech comes on the line, and it's all a shock and a twist. And Yeah, also I like the scene at the very start of the episode with the Cybermen and Rory threatening the Cybermen. That was quite a nice, interesting scene. Even though the Cybermen weren't the John Lunit Cybermen, they just didn't have a C symbol, which is quite lazy. If you're going to have new Cybermen, do better than just rub out a C on their chest, you know? You might as well just have the C on the chest. Anyway, yeah, I think it's an interesting story. I'm going to check what I give it, to be fair. It's been a while since I watched this episode. An 8 out of 10. Yeah, why not? I think it was an average story, and yeah, like, well, not average, but it's partly good. It's not the best. A lot of people love it. I'm happy with it. Yeah. Now we're on to Let's Kill Bloody Hitler. Jesus. So we could have an interesting story between the 11th Doctor and Hitler, and we could have spies or an alien spy or something like that. Instead, we get a Doctor just crashing into Hitler's office, saving Hitler from an alien robot, which will later play part in the finale of the series. And these alien robots basically take form of certain people to get close to these tyrants, these people that are so horrible that they are going to give them hell before they're about to die. And they're about to give Hitler some hell. And the 11th Doctor bursts in with his TARDIS and smash lands to save Hitler's life by accident. He didn't mean it, and yeah, the robot is unconscious, causing the robot's plan with all these little people inside the robot to have to work out something else, and then they realise River is there. Well, let's get into this. So we start off with the episode of the crop field of Doctor. Amy and Rory are trying to work out a plan to talk to the Doctor and get his attention, and the Doctor lands seeing his name in a crop field, and they're sort of set and nervous that they haven't found their daughter yet. And then Mel appears, which we've never seen before. And a fun fact, Jenna Coleman was going to play this role, but then sadly didn't because she was too small against Karen Gillan, so it didn't happen. But she was trying to apply for that role as well. So fun fact about Mel there. Yeah, anyway, so Mel is a very cocky person that's been with the 11th, with Amy for her whole life, grown up. We later learn it's River Song, and River's their daughter. So, and they named Mel as in melody. So they named her daughter after her daughter. Time-wimey, it's Moffat, what do you expect? So in the end, Amy did see her daughter throughout her whole life, but just not as the mom and as what she expected, and they were best mates. So yeah, and also the Doctor played a lot in Amy's life, obviously dropping down as a kid, also leading into Mel believing in Amy's stories and getting her into trouble, and she was definitely a troublemaker. She had a gun, threatened the Doctor to get her out. The police are after her. She stole some car, and they're on the run now in the TARDIS, and she shoots the TARDIS, and hence lands into Let's Kill Hitler, and we land there, and she's after killing the Doctor because the people that stole her Amy's baby have trained her as an assassin to kill the Doctor. That's what she was built for, and starts trying to do that. Before, when she regenerates, we learn she's a Time Lord. We also learn it's Amy's daughter, and then so on. We have River trying to kill the Doctor scenario. This is River at the very beginning, so the Doctor actually knows more than River for once. And yeah, River's on a rampage, and the robot is trying to chase her to execute her because she has killed the Doctor, and the Doctor's the most important person in the universe. So yeah, interesting run around. But it is bad, it is cheesy, and it's boring. It drags, and you think this could have a good concept, but it really doesn't. I mean, Rory punching Hitler as if Hitler's going to take that, you know? And they lock him into a cupboard, and it's just a gag. And the robot that's dressing up as German soldiers and stuff like that to get to River and execute her, and then when she does get hell, the Doctor Doctor is dying from poison in her lips when he's meant to die somewhere else, and then River gives up all her regeneration energy to bring the Doctor back to life for later River to kill him in the series. It's just gobbledygook, and what do you expect? It's Doctor Who, but this is definitely a naff episode, and Amy and Rory haven't got much to do. They're just running around and then trying to convince a robot not to kill River. River kills the Doctor to then bring him back, and then it's a start of River's journey. He gives her the blue book for River to know, and he gives her, I guess, a few hints and leaves her in a hospital, whereas the rest of the series is just pointless and yeah. And obviously later on in the series, because I'm not going to mention it because it's a little cameo, we have River in just got her degree in archaeology, and then the woman that took her as a kid, I don't know her name, so I'm just going to call her the woman, and is come back and grabbed her ready to kill the 11th Doctor with the astronaut suit, so that's a later future thing I'm just going to mention now, because why not. So let's see what I put. Let's Kill Hitler. A 6 out of 10. Can't blame me. Now we're on to Night Terrors. Now, surprisingly, I enjoyed it a lot more than what I thought, and I get it. Before, I thought the kid was terrible, bad acting, but then he is an alien. He's playing a kid that is an alien, and this kid has a conception filter that makes you believe that you've had him in your life forever, and he's not adopted or anything like that. He is your own child, leaving the parent. The mom's hardly in it. It comes in at the end of the episode, so that's relevant. She's not relevant in the story, really. Apart from when she realises he's suddenly normal at the end because of 11th Doctor sorting them out. And then we've got the dad. That's actually quite a common actor. He's appeared in a few stuff. He's probably one of the best parts of the story. I love the way he acted. He has a lot of problems. He has the problems with his son, obviously. It later appears it isn't his son. And then we have these horrible people, like this old woman that's complaining and stuff, and then she gets kicked into the doll's house. And then we also have the person who wants his money, his rent, and he's got this growling dog, which is a hysterical type of person that is just basically after his money, but trying to act the big man and boss him around and say, oh, I'm cool and stuff like that. And yeah, he gets sucked into the ground and put into the doll's house. Obviously, after everyone lives, they get put back into their places after the end of the episode. So they get jettisoned back out wherever they got took from the doll's house. We also have Amy and Rory get jettisoned into the doll's house from the lift. And they come out at the end of the episode with the lift. We got the dad and 11 trying to work out how to help his son, really. They later learn isn't his son, leaving us into oh my god, who is he then? He's an alien. What is he? And then we see the cupboard, basically anything he's scared of, which he gets scared of quite a lot of. And he's meant to be this perfect son that can do whatever you want him to be like. But when something went wrong and he got scared, and ever since then he's been scared of everything and putting it in the cupboard. And the cupboard starts turning alive with the alien technology and the ability to call the 11th Doctor from time and space. So then they're about to open the cupboard, then they get the dad and the 11th Doctor get jettisoned in as the dad revealed he's not his son and starts questioning stuff, which scares him. Jettisons the 11th Doctor and his dad into the doll's house. And then we have later on the kid have to come into the doll's house, have to face his fear, which is an interesting thing to see. I think Mark Gatiss wrote this story, to be fair, as well. And it's just the kid wanting to be loved and wanted, but scared and hasn't to face that fear. You've got these dolls, obviously, from a doll's house, which is creepy as hell because I'm not a fan of dolls, and it's just ugh. And then the dolls are playing around and killing people, well, not killing them, turning them into dolls, and which later grabs Amy and she turns into a doll. And obviously bits of the place are all wood from the doll's house, So they get a pan and start realising they're in a doll's house, and it's weird and interesting. And Rory has to see Amy turn, and it's quite a scary thing to see. And I think it was still scary today, to be fair with it. Then we have the 11th Doctor joining up with Rory and the dad, and then the kid, and then the monster's about to kill the kid or turn him or whatever you want to see it as, and then the dad has to step up to the plate and kick the monsters out of the way and say, grabs his son and gives him a hug and says, "I'm not going to leave you, I love you," and stuff, and later defeats the pig dolls, you could call it, or something. They all fall to the ground or stand still or whatever, and it's all safe, it's all happened. It's a basic story that is still very average, but I enjoyed it more than I thought I had, which is a lot with this series. I gave Series 6 a lot of credit for being the worst series, but it kind of isn't, it isn't the worst. I mean, it definitely is up there for being down as the worst, but there's a lot of good points I haven't really noticed before. I suppose I give a lot of worse credit for the series because of The Wedding of River Song. But anyway, 7 out of 10. Just a bit more than Let's Kill Hitler. Right. Now we have Girl Who Waited. Oh yes, so now we're into it. So, Amy has gone one end, the 11th Doctor and Rory have gone the other. Rory tries to find his wife. The droids try and touch. The Doctor can't come into the atmosphere because it can kill him instantly for a Time Lord, so the Doctor's out of the equation, stuck in a TARDIS, telling Rory and giving Rory notes along the episode until the very end of the episode, which we'll later talk about. We've also got, so Amy's been stuck down here. This planet, time's different in each end, so when Rory's come, it's been a long, for about 12, I'd say 13 years, isn't it? 30, some long number of years. Amy's been trapped down there, and she's definitely gone old, so obviously more than 10 years, say about 30 years, 30 to 40 years, Amy's been trapped down there. And write down in the comments if you know the number of how many years she was trapped down there. But she was obviously young when she started the episode and old by the end of the episode. And she's been through a lot defeating these monsters, these robots. Robots are meant to heal them and give them health, but obviously stuff went wrong. They touch you, you die. They touch you, you pass out, and they eject this thing into you. When they eject this thing into you, you will die. As humans can't cope with it. Or either this type of humans can't cope with it. So we need to see in various different ways. Amy gets touched at some point and she's about to die, and then someone saves the future Amy saves her later on in the episode. That we'll get to that in a minute. So yeah, I just think this is a good solid story, and I think it's a very interesting one, and it wasn't actually the writer's first choice of a story. Then Moffat had to persuade him to choose this story, which is interesting. Yeah, so the robots are trying to kill off and stuff and touch you and all that sort of thing, and Amy's grown old, and Rory's got to see that and see what his marriage is like, and he has to work out. And then we have Amy from the past. The Doctor's made this thing that can work to bring... It took a lot of credit for the future Amy to let that happen. She also has a conversation with past Amy that looks young, talking to future Amy that looks old, and saying, refuse it because otherwise you won't exist and you will refuse it when it's your turn, sort of thing. And then later on in the episode, she doesn't. She actually accepts it and accepts the help from Eleven and Rory, and she hates Eleven for leaving her down there for so long. It takes her a while to get used to Rory again. And then obviously the computer throughout the episode is giving her information as well. She's learned how to fight since then, attack the robots and stuff, older Amy. So younger Amy need to create a thing in their mind to be able to link in. They do that, they talk, and they link together now. So if we have future and past Amy together and Rory trying to get them to the TARDIS, then the robots start attacking Past Amy gets touched by one of the robots. Future Amy kicks him out or something like that. Rory carries Past Amy into the TARDIS. The 11th Doctor is quick on the move to lock future Amy, the old looking Amy, out of the TARDIS so she can't get in, because only one Amy can be in the TARDIS. If the other one is in, then the other one will disappear, sort of thing. And it leaves the older woman, Amy, complaining and shouting and saying, "You tricked me, you left, you're going to leave me again, and I'm never going to exist. You're just going to go off with that Amy." And she also begs for Rory and then accepts Rory's decision at the end to leave her, which he has to make a decision, and the Doctor forces him into that, and he hates that he has to choose, which is quite sad. The 11th Doctor Fury, we see that in a different way, and it's quite harsh to see the Doctor in that certain situation and making Rory make that decision. Yeah, interesting story, fun story. I'd give this story out of 10, a 9 out of 10. Really enjoyed it. On closing time, yes, and we have Craig back. I absolutely love the person who plays Craig. I have still forgotten his name from when I remember doing an episode when he was in series 5, and I still didn't know his name. It was he's from Gavin and Stacey. I absolutely love the actor, but I've forgotten his name. I know he's a popular people, and you'll be in the comments saying, how do you not know his name and stuff like that. But I do know his name. It's just his name's escaped from me, and I'm bad with names. Anyway, the person who played Craig is absolutely lovely, and it's nice to see the 11th Doctor and Craig get together again from Series 5. That dynamic has come on to Series 6 now, and Craig has got a little boy, Stormageddon, Dark Lord of all. Yes, he's obviously got a different name, but Stormageddon is what he likes to be called, the little baby. And 11th Doctor talking to the baby is quite fun to see, and the 11th Doctor acting more of the human side. Yet again, from Series 5 he had to act human, and now he's doing that sort of thing yet again. And he notices something's up, but the 11th Doctor knows he's got to die. Yet again, that thing from the David Tennant era, the foreshadowing of death. And the 11th Doctor knows he's got to die and stuff like that. He's got to go to his death, which beforehand he refuses, and goes off on one last adventure with Craig. And he has the choice to do something amazing or stay with Craig and sort that out. And he sorts Craig out because it's the Doctor. And yeah, we have these nice fun characters from the shop. They put Lucy from the episode is at the end of the episode, but not anywhere else in the episode. I suppose she was busy, and she had a little cameo in the end, which was quite nice to tie in that she's still around and stuff, and it's her kid and all that. And Craig's got to persuade Lucy that he can look after the baby on his own and no one needs to help him. And then he thinks, oh, how has she got the Doctor to try and come and check up on me as well? And it's not, it's just a coincidence. And it's odd how the 11th Doctor, they've moved house and that the 11th Doctor's tracked Craig down. But anyway, yeah, so pop in, visit, and the town's electricity is on the fault because the Cybermen are back and they're upgrading and using all the electricity and making power supplies go down and stuff like that. And people go missing, which are actually getting upgraded and killed and stuff like that. And we see these shop people. We have the bodyguard of the shop. He was quite a nice person, and then he gets killed off. We also have this other shopkeeper woman who gets killed off as well. Then we have this Bobby person that's really funny and interesting, because there's a dynamic where Craig's trying to ask her questions, and then she starts thinking he's a pervert, and it's quite a nice funny scene to see 11th Doctor swiftly just ask questions, whereas Craig does it, he gets in trouble. Then we have this other woman that's been in a lot of TV shows. She's quite common. I've forgotten her name. I don't think she acts anymore, but she did a lot of kids shows, and she thought 11 and Craig were a couple, which was funny to see. She's a lovely character, and I'll probably put a picture on the screen of her. If not, then I'm sorry. Yeah, so now we have the Cybermen trying to upgrade from scrap and trying to rebuild themselves. They will damage units trying to upgrade from anything and everything, and 11th Doctor's not compatible yet. That will be in Series 7 when he's compatible to be upgraded, so he's not compatible, leaving him to go and trying to kill him off. Craig, they trying to upgrade him, and then when he's about to get upgraded, he hears his baby cry from a monitor or some kind, and he runs, he breaks out the cyber control thing and fights the Cybermen with love in yet again another episode with Craig, and yet again the ending is with love, and it's last time it was love for Sophie, this time it's love for his child, and he defends that, and the Cybermen are all getting blown up because he broke the units and stuff, and the emotions too much, so they're all getting exploded and stuff like that. Craig and 11th Doctor teleport, get back to the kid, and 11th Doctor starts saying his goodbyes. Oh, there's a nice scene in that house where Craig's getting attacked by a Cybermat, and it's a funny little toss and turn, and then 11th Doctor breaks in and saves the day, and then it jumps on him, and then Craig has to save the 11th Doctor. It's a nice funny little scene. You also get 11th Doctor with the kid, showing him the stars. That's a nice scene as well. Really fun, upbeat episodes with Craig. I'd love to have had a sequel, so we had another one. So we got 3 episodes with him instead. And nice, I'd love to see him in the TARDIS, but we don't get that. Then we have this odd little thing with these kids at the end, which is weird. And then the 11th Doctor goes off in his TARDIS. I gave this a 9 out of 10. Really interesting story. Enjoyed it a lot. Now we're on to Wedding of Riverson. Oh god. Right, let's just try and make sense of this as possible. I'm not going to go in order because the episode didn't even go in order. So, River tries to kill the Doctor, but she runs out of charge, causing the fixed point in time to break out and make all the time happen at once. So we have, which is nice little cameos to be fair, even though it's a really bad episode from Series 1, we have... what's his name? Charles Dickens was in the episode, a little cameo. We had all these historic characters, which was quite nice to see. We had dinosaurs and trains and all sorts all at once, and it was interesting. And now we have also what's his name? Oh god, he's Churchill. How could I forget Churchill? Jeez. Please don't kill me in the comments. So Churchill and the 11th Doctor, we have that dynamic, and then the silence are coming for them and stuff like that. Silence will fall, and they've got all these happening at once in time, and then Amy shoots all the silence, but she has that patch on from the woman that took her kid and working in that company. Getting the 11th Doctor to one side, she hasn't forgot the Doctor, whereas everything else is forgotten and stuff like that. And she's forgotten Rory. Yet again, Rory and Amy have forgotten, and it's got a reboot and everything's got to start again until they remember. She can't trying to remember Rory and she can't, and then Rory's actually working with her the whole time, and he can't remember actually working with Amy this time. But then they finally get together. Amy must remember him and say, "Oh, we should get married," as a little joke, and then they get together again, and it's all happy with that dynamic. You have the silence coming after them constantly throughout the episode. I have all these historic things coming all at once. Churchill suddenly just vanishes off. Why not? Then we have the 11th Doctor talking to Churchill, trying to explain things that happen. Good luck with that. He's trying to explain this episode. I'm not going to bother. I'm just going to give out little points and tell you what I think of it. Then we have the woman that stole River as a kid, Amy's child, and Doctor's trying to touch River to start time up again and make time happen so she can kill the 11th Doctor, which is causing this whole problem. Then they all go off somewhere, and silence will come in, and Rory's about to kill him off. Amy saves Rory, and then could save the woman that stole her kid, but she's not gonna. And then she's like, "But you're the Doctor's friend, you will save me, you're nice." And then Amy's like, "Yeah, but the Doctor's not here." Puts the thing on what's killing them all and electrocuting on these eye patches. leaving her to the Silence to die. And the Silence were never trapped. They pretended that the Silence were trapped in these water dome things that they never were trapped. And yeah, then we have, oh yeah, the 11th Doctor's all raggedy with long hair and beard, and he gets a shave, but then he's got still long hair in this episode, which is weird to see him in a different hairstyle. Then we have the 11th Doctor and River's wedding, which they didn't need a wedding, but well, why not? This episode's doing everything it wants anyway. So now River and the 11th Doctor are married, and that means that Amy's the mother-in-law, which is different as well. And then, yeah, so 11th Doctor whispers in River's ear his name, which isn't actually his name. It's the robot android. 11th Doctor's in the robot android, so that brings back from Let's Kill Hitler. Oh God, that's another crap episode. So yeah, that links in with that episode for some dire reason. So now the 11th Doctor is inside a 11th Doctor robot, and the robot gets to kill not the 11th Doctor, making him escape. And when they burn the body and the possible astronaut, 11th Doctor can almost died, but singed in that boat of fire. But yeah, the 11th Doctor basically escaped death by being in a robot, and made the whole series redundant with the mystery of how the Doctor is going to escape, because it was such a bad, rough ending and an easy cop-out way to end it off. Then we have River popping up to Amy to tell Roy and Amy that he's still alive, linking in with the Christmas special, so when he comes back that he's actually alive, sort of thing, which is Amy's annoyed that he never told her that he was still alive because she thought he was dead. Yeah, there's not much to say on this. What did I give it would be quite interesting. A 5 out of 10. You know what? Yeah, it was a 5 out of 10. Making the series a bit, that's what, I've enjoyed Series 6 more than I thought I would, but it's still got them bad episodes that make the series a bit, that bad taste in you. Yeah, so overall, what would I give this series? I'll probably give this series a 6 out of 10. Yeah, probably the weakest I've given the ranking for a series so far. But yeah, join me next week where I'll be talking about Series 7, Part 1. And then we'll talk about Part 2, Series 7. Then we'll also be talking about Time of the Doctor. I won't be talking about Day of the Doctor because I'm going to talk about that in a later advance episode sort of thing. And then I'm also going to talk about the 11th Doctor's era. And then we're going to Series 8 and onwards. So yeah, stick around for that, guys. Don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe, and I'll see you guys very soon next week.